Good day to and welcome on Beckerization, and it's time for a little lore and overview. I'll start with the overview. So what have we done? We went to a large number of dungeons. Some of them were larger ones, some of them were small ones, such as finishing the Temple of Fist. That was pretty short. Actually, local dragoons. The quest were for the archer, where you get the keys. That's also a rather small dungeon, but we also went to big ones. So let's say difficult ones. Oh, let's differentiate those two. We went to big ones. One of the big ones was, for example, the sewers, and one of the I'd even say that the Temple of Sansa could be considered rather large, but then we had this one extremely difficult dungeon, which was Garrick's laboratory / Garrick's forge, and that was difficult because we probably weren't supposed to be there yet, but it took quite some time to finish. I think it was about an hour and a half. But the dungeon itself is quite small. The problem are the hordes of mages and elementals in there. All the dungeons that we have seen, except for the sewers, have this duality of focus, so of design. So they are not only just horizontal, which means that they span across a large amount of space, which is the sewers, but they are also vertical, which means that they have levels. Or floors. And I have to commend this design. At the beginning I was afraid that the dungeons will just, span along, because if we take a look at, for example, Goblin's Watch and Abandoned Temple, these dungeons are more or less just long horizontally, and therefore one has this feeling that they are just immense, but not really, and there is this something behind that cracks in your head. Temple of Ba was better. It had another floor, but very often what happens right now is that they have 2 up to 3 floors, and that's it. And I kind of like it. 2 floors are manageable, 3 floors are manageable. It makes a mess in the map, but that's one of the skills that you have to find in this game. What has happened, meanwhile, other than dungeons? Finally, we have reached Summer Masters, but the master level is quite different. And why is that? So, as you can see, master level affects vary per spell, for example, and I have to say the master level is really something else, because spell affects the entire party in this case, plus 15 minutes, plus 15 minutes. Really, it's something different. Shared life, it's 3 hit points per point, okay. But generally, it's not, like, it's really good, but getting to the master is kind of annoying sometimes, because, for example, magic requires 12, weapons require 10. I think that most of the weapons require 10, maybe some of them I thought require 8 actually, and some extra skill checks, such as I think mace requires 8 and 40 might, which I still do not have. Maybe I wonder if it agrees with if it allows the green ones. These require 7. No, these armors require 10, and miscellaneous requires 7. And also some skill check. So that is quite different and quite annoying in a way, that I would rather accept everything having, let's say, 10 instead of 7 and 12. But also includes some skill checks, or just make two levels, let's make 8 and 10. But there are actually 4 levels. And that's a lot. That's a lot. That can make you quite confused at the beginning. The problem is that it also doesn't really fit within the categories. So you require a 10, for sword, but 8 for mace. I'm not sure right here, but I'm like 95% sure. And that's somewhat a mess. But otherwise, I really like the system. It allows you the improvement and forces you to go for the major quests. That's really nice. And now let's get into lore, because we have new ones. Such as this one. Lionheart sword, a weapon as rare as it is ancient. This long sword was forged during the time of wonders. The process used to forge steel of this quality was lost sometime just after silence. Okay. Steel plate armor. Well-constructed plates of steel work together to form an overall excellent suit of armor. A foundry stamp under the right arm indicates it was forged recently in Calabrian. Precision bow, we had that one. There are new rings. Precious ring, 3 gems symmetrically equal in size and quality adorn a hammered golden band. The center of gem is ruby and the 2 flanking gems are purple topazes. 3 opals rimmed with strange red metal are set in a perfect ring stalled. A very rare metal found only in southern Erathia. A large star sapphire flanked by 2 small rubies decorate an otherwise plain gold band. Ancient amulet. This amulet is composed of 2 pieces. The front piece is an ancient, perfectly cut rectangle of a strong stainless metal. The backing is a much more recent gold chain and clasp. Careful inspection of the front piece reveals it to be a plaque displaying the name of some long dead soldier or worker. Symbols on the front probably indicate status and rank. And then we have this. Now, Defender Helm. Half made from the skull of the ferocious Mogret beast in Karigor, these helms grow more uncommon every year as the Morgrets approach extinction. The red stripes around the horns of the helm are highly receptive to enchantments. Magic bow. This bow is composed of strange materials and bound together by subtle enchantments. It is extremely light and accurate. Nothing new here, but Mordred, our first artifact. One of 9 such blades in the world, Mordred was made by the Brotherhood in 488 after silence, as part of their first experiments in the development of dark magic. Their hope was to find a way to extend one person's life at the expense of another's, but instead reversing ages. They merely found a way to steal health. Special powers, vampiric. Now, we have some new stuff here, and that's... This mace is one of thousands turned out by the heavenly forges before the silence, but that was more than 1,000 years ago, and not many remain. Thunder mace. Doomsday cloak. A cloak formerly worn by high officials of the Church of the Moon of Karigor, prior to the dissolution of the church in 1083 after silence. All these cloaks were enchanted in one way or another. We've seen these, maybe not this one. A high quality gauntlet, it offers both protection and flexibility. The joints are reinforced, yet are soft enough to permit nearly normal hand motion. And finally, the last 2 ones. This Guardian Helm. This helm design has been used by elves of Erathia since before the silence. It is composed of silver and steel and is very strong. Okay, so I have to point out that this here we hear that this design has been used by elves of Erathia. However, in the new installments of Heroes of Might and Magic, which means 5 and higher, or 5 and higher, it's actually a completely different world, which uses very similar helmets and styles, like angel-like wings. I want to just point this out. Cavalry Officer's Chain, a noble chain. Cavalry Officer's Chainmail from the reign of Taladon the 5th of Karigor. divine high priest and high holy conduit of the Church of the Sun, circa 870 after silence. The armor is of high quality chain enchanted to lighten and strengthen the metal. Sacred Spear. A smithy symbol and date stamp indicate the spear was made in the magical forges of Governor Pettish 12 years before the silence. And that's it. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like it down below, it gets me higher in traffic. Also, share it to your friends. And well, I hope that you enjoyed this once again. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.